Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes face off against the Washington Capitals here in game number 4. They look to take a 3-1 series lead if they're perfect here on home ice in the postseason at Lenova Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Max. Delighted to have you with us here as we're going to get ready for game number 4 of this best-of-7 series. The Carolina Hurricanes trying to take a 3-1 series lead in this one, and they have been pretty good in these Stanley Cup playoffs. They are 4-0 on home ice, and they have had a lot of things go right for them, as Frederik Andersen's been the story. He has been very good in this series. It's a low-scoring series, but he's been very, very good. Picked up a shutout last game in Game 3. That's when Carolina won that 4-0. They have a lot of players going on right now. A lot of players that are on right now, like Andrei Svechnikov with 6 goals in the postseason already. For the Washington Capitals, has not been that story, as Alex Ovechkin has not picked up a point, has not had a goal, has not had an assist, nothing in this series, when he had 4 goals and 1 assist in the Montreal series in the first 5 games of the playoffs for them, as he has had nothing. He has not produced nothing in this playoff series, and Logan Thompson's been great for Washington for sure, but Frederik Andersen is at another level right now. He is the best goalie in save percentage in the Stanley Cup playoffs as of now, with a .940 save percentage. Logan Thompson with a .922 save percentage in the postseason. The Washington Capitals have struggled. They have really struggled in this series with shot volume and all that stuff, and it has just not been their series so far. And they look to correct that here in game number 4. They need to, as usually they have been outshot in this series by the opponent, by Carolina. Carolina's averaging more than a lot of, like 69 shots in the first, 92 in the second, 87 in the third. They've had 272 shots by period, and on average 34 shots on goal. Washington Capitals with 24.4. They let up 29.6 average of shots on goal. Carolina only allows 25 average goals or shots on goal, as we are almost underway with the national anthem. Scotty McCreery, as he is having the air siren there, and Lenova Center going crazy as the players are coming onto the ice, and look to see if they can respond here. The Washington Capitals, the best team, or one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, I believe the second best, and they're the top seed in the Eastern Conference, and they look to get home ice advantage back in their favor as they're looking to tie the series at 2, going to Capital One Arena for game number 5. If they don't, the Carolina Hurricanes have a chance to eliminate the Washington Capitals in Game 5 on their home ice, or away from Lenova Center, but on Washington's home ice, as we are about to get there and send you to the anthems, as we're almost there. As we'll send you down to the national anthems in just a moment. Spencer Carber, the head coach of the Washington Capitals, Rod Brindamore on Carolina, and we are about to be underway as the referees Garrett Rank, Johnny Bear, and Frederick LaRue, and lines persons James Tobias and Johnny Murray, as game number 4 is about to be underway. But to the national anthems first here in Lenova Center, Raleigh, North Carolina, as the Carolina Hurricanes, the home team, lead the series 2-1. We're about to be underway. And I guess I just skipped over the anthems. I thought we were going to go to the anthems immediately, but apparently not, as they just skipped over them. And Alex Ovechkin needing to be a big factor in this game number 4. He has had no goals, no points, no assists, nothing coming into this one. He only has 4 goals in the postseason as we're underway here in game number 4. Shot back in by Slavin. Rimmed around the perimeter. Chikrin trying to get it out. A line change for the Capitals as they get back Ryan Leonard into the lineup. He was scratched in Game 3 and 2. And in place of him was Taylor Radish. He comes out of the lineup again as Leonard is back in it. Chikrin will shoot it back in. Rimmed all the way around. Beauvillier was trying to get it loose along the wall and flipped out to the blue line and out of the zone. Waugh will get in his own zone. Stretch pass along the board. Strome into the middle. Here's a chance on the backhand save made by Anderson. It was McMichael with the opportunity, and Svechnikov dekes through his man. He shoots, and he missed the net. Slavin from the point. Svechnikov let it go. Aho along the perimeter. Goes back to the point. A shot deflected wide of the net. Loose along the wall. Early on, only one shot on goal as a stretch pass here for Protas. He hit the post. Another shot and a save made by Anderson. So already a minute and 10 in, we had a breakaway opportunity and a goal post for Alexei Protas. And a good save by Anderson. He's been one of the best goaltenders in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 7 starts, 5-2. Goals against allowed a 1.32 and 1 shutout. That was a previous game. Logan Thompson 5-3, 2.26 goals against allowed, and a .922 save percentage. As Alexei Protas could have started the goal scoring early on for the Washington Capitals. Hit the goalpost though. Van Riemsdyk from the point. Looks and shoots, and a save. It's loose in the slot, and it's picked up there by Carrier, who looks to clear, but it's not out yet. Strome sent it deep. And then picked up there by Anderson. Knocks it down. Carrier. Martinook will get it now and backhanded back in. Since 2022, teams that shut out opponents are 8-2, I believe, and that's going to be an icing there on Washington no, it's not going to be an icing. They waved it off for a moment. Hall shot save made. Already have 4 shots on goal. This is unfamiliar in this series to start things. I feel like shot congestion in the first 2 games in Washington. Game 3, a dominating win for the Hurricanes. As already the shots are 3-1 in favor of the Capitals. Jalen Chatfield has it behind the net, and he'll look to break it up into the middle, deflected back in. Orlov is trying to get it. Thompson out to play it behind his own net. Loose along the boards. Waugh trying to get it. Taylor Hall makes a move in the corner as Stankoven gets it now on the backhand. Goes back to the point for Chatfield's shot. Was trying to pass it for Hall behind the net and could not connect. Miscommunication there as Chikrin was just waiting for that puck to come to him, and defensive partner was kind of confused there. Chikrin gets it now and will look to move it up. Lars Eller in the middle lost the handle as Taylor Hall will just chip it in and go for a line change. We're almost 3 minutes in to the first period. Protas hitting the post early on. Could have been a 1-0 Capitals lead. It would have been a huge goal as well, as both teams are speedy right now in the moment. Here is Sandin. He'll shoot it around. Loose along the boards. Carolina pokes it out of the zone. Robinson, but Dowd gets there before him. Angles him off the puck. It's been a low-scoring series. Game 3 is the first time a team has scored 4 goals in this playoff series. Here's Beauvillier in. He shoots, and a save made by Anderson again. Frederick Anderson facing 4 shots and not even 3.5 minutes into the first. And the Hurricanes letting up a lot of opportunities here. This is McMichael on the backhand and right off the pad of Anderson, and then Protas on the breakaway hits the goal post. Had it there and just hit the iron. It's not even 3.5 minutes in. We've had chances. Protas in this playoff year, 1 goal. Could have been his second there. 3 assists. He only had 4 points in the postseason. He's a -2 in this postseason as well. Dubois, as they won the faceoff, poked away there as Jarvis picks it up for the Hurricanes. 3-0 the scoring chances in favor of the Capitals. Burns will pass it back for Slavin. A return pass for Burns. And Slavin gets it back again. He moves it in on the far wing and a shot. Save made by Thompson. Huge rebound comes out to center ice as Jarvis picked it up. Brent Burns. Then Slavin tried to get it. Poked away. Protas will shoot it back in. Anderson left it on the platter for Burns behind the net. And the Hurricanes look to move it up. Sebastian Aho through the center logo. Drops it off for Svechnikov into the zone. Back for Aho again in the circle. Circles back and waits. Centering pass for Jarvis with a save. Logan Thompson coming up big there with a good chance there on Jarvis. Carlson lost the handle. Orlov intercepts. Returned back to Wilson. 0 goals scored in the first period of this series. Could change. That looked like a hooking potentially. And Ovechkin picks up the puck in the corner. Looks to center it in front, and it goes through everybody. Another shot deflected wide as Strome was trying to get it to the point. Carlson's shot deflected wide. Another chance, and it goes around. Wilson will get it along the half boards. Strome tries to go back to the point. It was intercepted there, and Orlov was a speedy Orlov against Carlson. Shoots, and it's blocked wide. Orlov trying to get his own rebound off the boards. Could not. Wilson passes it, and Ovechkin is in. Tries to make a move on Gostisbehere. He still has the puck in the corner. Dropped it off, shot, and Alexiev shot it wide of the net. Van Riemsdyk tried to go back to the point, but no one was there. Alexiev picks up the puck now. 4-3, the shots favoring the Washington Capitals. Everyone's had a chance in this game, it feels like, early on. Into the middle, and that's broken up. Gostisbehere clears it out to center ice. Washington just entering nicely so far. Leonard was trying to get it in. Eller, and now Stankoven picks up the puck for the Hurricanes. Here's Taylor Hall with some speed. Drops it up for Stankoven trying to go through the legs. Mangiapane backhands it back in, and Walker has it now for the Hurricanes. Pass it into the middle. Here's Roslovic. Drops it off for Taylor Hall. Looking on the outside, waiting. Still with the puck. Pressured by Eller from behind. Shot! Blocked out in front. Here's Brandon Duhaime the other way. Tries to get through the check. He takes down Slavin in the process. He's trying to go for the puck. Slavin picks up the puck now, and Stankoven trying to get it out. Cleared out to center ice. So far, we've had a speedy first period in the first 6 minutes. Sent back in. Beauvillier up in the air. Duhaime gets it now. Drops it off to the point. A shot from distance off the glove of Anderson. And then Dowd gets tripped up. No penalty. Kakanyemi fell down. Trying to take advantage of a turnover. It comes back out to center ice. Wall will get it now. And now Dowd off his skate. Trying to force a turnover of the Capitals. Beauvillier centered it. No one was there. Dowd and Robinson tying up with each other. McMichael goes back to the point for Carlson. Shot. Save made by Anderson again. He's faced a lot in the first 7 minutes. Another shot was blocked. Beauvillier got taken down. Tying up is Dowd with Robinson. And it's cleared out to center ice again. That's might be a delay of game. This may be a penalty. I don't think it was. Maybe they said it was deflected. 13-12 to go in the first. A speedy start in Carolina in game number 4. We're back, everybody, here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm Max, and it's game number 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and so far, it has been a good one. Ovechkin last game was brutally just getting attacked, basically, and getting robbed on some great chances. He's had chances for sure. Ovechkin just trying to find a way to get that goal This series, he has 0. Regular season, 897. Postseason in his career, 76. This postseason, only 4. As he looks to try to get on the board here and help his Capitals to a win. Shot off the faceoff, and it's gloved by Anderson. A rolling backhander on goal from the boards, and the shots are 7-3 in favor of the Washington Capitals early on here. Ovechkin looking on the iPad as he is tied for 4th in points with his teammates this postseason. Strome leading the team with 10 points. Thompson covers that one as it rolled on goal. Then they whistle it down as an early whistle. And the faceoff stays in the Washington zone 7 minutes in exactly. Spencer Carberry leading his team to a great season. Great, it's incredible. The goal differential last year was like a minus 30-something, and now his team is just completely revamped, basically. It's insane how Spencer Carberry. It was a minus 36 last year, and now it's a plus 57. That's a goal differential jump of 93. Insane numbers for this Washington Capitals squad that looked like they were going to go on to a rebuild. And instead, they're back in that contention spot as they're back in the playoffs and in the second round. Trying to tie the series up against the Carolina Hurricanes here on Raleigh, North Carolina ice. Sandin will backhand it back in for the Capitals. Walker intercepts that. Loose along the boards. Dow trying to fish it free. And then it's picked up here and cleared out of the zone. And here's a stretch pass here for Robinson moving in. Pressured off the puck by Sandin. Along the boards. Fought for by Blake. Sandin falling on the puck. Blake gets it free. Backhand on goal, and it's stopped. Kakiniemi got a piece of it. Gostisbehere has it at center ice. Off the boards, it's Blake. And then he stretches it up, and then it's intercepted at center ice. Stolen away here. Here's Ovechkin in, and a shot missed the net wide. An 87-mile-per-hour shot. Just goes wide of that post. Svechnikov shoots it in, wide of the goal. Chychrun will move it around to the point, not cleared. Shot blocked out in front of the net. And Chychrun will move it up through center. Maybe a rush here for the Capitals, and it's offside. 11:49 to go in the first. Shots are 7-4 in favor of the Capitals. They've had opportunities early on. It was like the first minute where the Capitals had 2 great opportunities. They've had a lot so far in this game. Carolina, not so much. That went off the glove. A goal post by Protas has been the question here, as Anderson has been really good in this playoff year. He's .940 save percentage, and there's no question why he's been the best goaltender in the Stanley Cup playoffs after far. This is the chance here by Kakiniemi, and it was stopped by Thompson. Face-off outside the Carolina blue line. Thompson out to play it as the Capitals won the face-off. Stretch pass was intercepted by Orlov. Chatfield passing into the middle as Roslovic deflects it back into the Washington zone. Wow will pick up the puck now. Looks to clear it out of the zone. He will. Shot back in by Taylor Hall. Thompson tried to slow it down. He will. Chychrun and Mangiapane trying to get the puck along the boards. And it's cleared out to center ice. Race for the puck, and it's going to be an icing here on Washington. 3 shots for the Hurricanes almost 9 minutes in. This is like kind of the same start that they had in Game 3, where Washington was just getting opportunities after opportunities, and then a goal early on in that second period off the face-off kind of killed the momentum for Washington that they were building. It was scoreless until that second period happened. We still have not seen a first period goal in this series, and we've almost played 4 straight first periods without a goal. It's more than, or it's about to be 70 minutes worth of first period playing time where they have not scored a first period goal, either team. Svechnikov drops it off for Jarvis, but the point shot, oh, missed the net wide. Another shot was blocked out in front. Mangiapane looking to clear, cannot. Here's Aho, drops it off for Slavin, a shot deflected wide. Leonard clears it to the blue line, not out. Capitals taking on water here. as the Carolina Hurricanes are pressuring along the board. Slavin, Aho goes back to the point for Jarvis. Shoots, save, loose in the crease. And it's cleared. Shot up in the air, knocked down maybe via high stick. It is. And I believe the faceoff will stay in the Washington zone with 10:38 to go in the first. So far, that was probably the best shift for the Carolina Hurricanes. The top guys out there, Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis. The Jarvis shot from the point. Slavin, who scored that Game 1 overtime winner in Washington to take a 1-0 series lead, had some chances with that zone pressure. The Carolina Hurricanes good at cycling the puck. Chatfield along the boards as the Hurricanes won the faceoff. Carrier behind the net, looking for an option out in front. Saved by Thompson. Stahl robbed on the doorstep on 2 good chances. Jordan Stahl, the captain, was this close. He has no goals in this postseason. No points as well. Shot attempts, the average 85 in this series for the Hurricanes, 44 for the Washington Capitals, which is honestly insane. Here's this chance by Slavin out in, Stahl, and wow. And Thompson, as the Hurricanes are gaining some momentum in their favor, as the shots are now even at 7. 1 point in this game was 7-3 in favor of the Capitals. It feels like the strategy the Hurricanes have been using all series. Duhaime tried to get it out of the zone. It poked away, and it rolled towards Thompson. Could have been a dangerous opportunity there. Only remaining playoff team without a home loss is the Carolina Hurricanes here at Lenova Center. Dow trying to get it free as the Capitals now are just looking a little bit scared, and now the Hurricanes have found their game as the Capitals can't clear it out of the zone just yet, and Sandin picks up the puck, flips it out to center ice. Nothing developing here. A line change for the Capitals. It's Kotkaniemi who found on the shot. Goes back to the point for Gostisbehere, looking, waiting, blue line, still looking, stick handling, dancing the blue line still. Shot, scores! Deflected and in front of the net. And the Hurricanes have the lead. Shane Gostisbehere, I believe, did not get a deflection. He just shot it from the blue line. And the Hurricanes with a 1-goal lead. And the first period goal of the series. A shot from the boards, and Kotkaniemi endowed with the screens. And the Hurricanes, for the second time in the series, have scored the first goal at 9:36 remaining of the first. And the Hurricanes have a 1-goal lead, just like they did in game number 3. As it's loose along the boards, loose along the wall. The home teams in all 4 games have taken 1-goal leads. Ovechkin was trying to receive that pass from Wilson. The Capitals looked rattled right now. They need to find their game before Hurricanes just take over and potentially a 3-1 deficit for the Washington Capitals. Van Riemsdyk into the middle. Alexiev is intercepted. Stahl trying to get in and shoots it back in. 37-2 when scoring first. 4th in the NHL when the Hurricanes score first in the regular season. Robinson centered. Goes back to the point for Slavin. To the point again. Burns a shot wide of the net. Taylor Hall. Pressure here. Burns a shot wide. Rebound up in the air at the side of the net, and Van Riemsdyk tried to clear it. Held in by Slavin. Along the board, Stankoven. Back for Slavin's shot. Save. That's going to be an icing on the Capitals they won't be able to change. 8:23 to go and another offensive zone faceoff. And the Capitals looking dead tired right now, and they look rattled. And what will be the response for them? The Hurricanes feeling it all right now. 7-2 the shots were in favor of the Capitals, and now they're 9-7 in favor of the Hurricanes, and they have a 1-goal lead. As Shane Gostisbehere gets one through. The screen out in front of the net, as Thompson did not see that puck, I believe. And they have a 1-goal lead. Alexiev here, I believe, or Van Riemsdyk, I'm not sure. It's Aho, and the face-off won here by Alexiev, and it's cleared out to center ice. Shane Gostisbehere's third of the playoffs. Kakaniemi and Robinson with the assists. Here's Gostisbehere, who drops it off for Aho. Back for Gostisbehere, who just let it go. Around the boards, McMichael can't clear it. Aho looking, stick handling, waiting. To the point shot, blocked out in front of the net. Race for the puck now. McMichael, and then it's broken up there by Walker. Dubois passes it back into his own zone for Waugh. Last 6 shots on goal are for the Hurricanes, as the Capitals have not been able to respond. That's offside by a mile with 7:40 to go, and a little bit of pushing and shoving right afterwards with Waugh and Svechnikov. Jarvis now getting into the action. James Tobias trying to split up there, and there's going to be penalties out of this. 7:40 to go. We're going to have penalties out of this, and it's a 1-goal lead for the Carolina Hurricanes. Shane Gostisbehere through traffic, 1-0 in favor of the Hurricanes in Game 4. They lead the series 2-1. We're back, everybody. It's a 2-1 series lead for the Carolina Hurricanes here in game number 4. 1-0 Carolina, and a Washington power play about to happen here as the Hurricanes have to kill off a penalty. 18-6-0 record after loss this season, regular season and playoffs under Spencer Carberry for the Washington Capitals. They look to get it to 19-6-0 as they look to even the series at 2, going back home to Capital One Arena, or else it's a must-win in their home arena in Washington, D.C. for a game number 5. Seth Jarvis in the box for a roughing, I believe. 0 power play goals for Ovechkin in this series. Roughing on McMichael. Is McMichael's in the box as well? It might be on Jarvis, but I'm not sure. I don't know why they'd have a McMichael in the box and then they have a power play after that. So I believe that was just Jarvis with the roughing call. And already 20 seconds have passed here on the power play. Yes, Seth Jarvis for a roughing penalty. As here comes Dylan Strome. Will shoot it back in. Save made by Anderson. He clears it out of the zone. So far, so not good for the Washington Capitals. They have not looked good here at all. They haven't been able to enter the zone. They're stuck in their own zone with 40 seconds passing by on their power play already. Strome will drop it off at the center logo for Chychrun, who chips it off the boards, up in the air and out of play. 6:51 to go. Not clean entries for the Washington Capitals. They're 3 for 13 in the first round against Montreal. They're 1 for 7 here in this series. That 1 goal on the power play in this second series. The Carolina's only allowed 1 power play goal on 22 opportunities. But that goal that they have in this series on the power play was the game winner in game 2. John Carlson with the game winner in that one when the Capitals won it 3-1 at home. Off the face-off, Chychrun trying to win it. Ovechkin along the wall. Wilson will rim it all the way around. It goes back to the point for Carlson. Drops it off to the point again for Strome, who sends it across for Ovechkin. Deflected save, Anderson. Wilson with the deflection, and Ovechkin can't hold it in at the line. Thompson with the puck and then leaves it for Dylan Strome. 50 seconds to go on the power play for the Capitals. Shot back in from the blue line. Along the boards, Mangiapane tied up with Orlov, and Aho will pick up the puck, and they'll look to go shorthanded. Robinson is in. He shoots, and it was blocked. Then Robinson's pressured from behind, but still got the puck back. Aho, fan on it. Robinson gets it back, tried to center it on the backhand by Aho. They're just killing off a remaining power play of Washington. Dubois is pressured by Robinson. They just can't get it out. Washington just looks terrible, and Carolina just been dominating them. That pass is blocked off a skate. That's going to be offside with 5:50 to go, and just frustration, it looks like already, for the Washington Capitals. They had not generated much. The only chance they got was the Wilson deflection. This pass was broken up by the skate of Jordan Stahl, or else that could have been a very good entry for the Washington Capitals with 5:50 to go. 11 seconds to go on the power play for Washington. Nothing is happening much for the Washington Capitals, and they're down by one. They've been down by one in the last game. They've been up by one in the previous two, or the two before we went to Raleigh, North Carolina, and they're 1-for-1 when they lead after two. Loose along the boards. It is McMichael. Pressured along the boards by Slavin, and the power play is over. Here's Martinuk, a 3-on-2. Jarvis looking, shooting over the net. Deflected out of play into the netting. 5:32 to go in the first. Seth Jarvis with a good opportunity. And we'll go to commercial. 5:32 to go. 1-0 Carolina. We're back, everybody, and it's a 1-goal lead for the Carolina Hurricanes here in game number 4. Carolina leading the series 2-1 with 5:32 left to go in the first period. And we're back here in Raleigh, North Carolina, here at Lenovo Center. As the Stanley Cup playoffs advance still, as later on tonight, it'll be the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton leading that series 2-1, but a buzzer beater to win it for Vegas in Game 3 on Edmonton ice, and they look to tie the series against the Oilers. Leonard will try to send it in deep, intercepted there by Walker. He has the puck and passes it up for Hall. Now for Stankoven, who chips it in to the corner. Waugh will try to get it. Sandin clear to the blue line, not out. Held in at the line, and then it's broken up there, and it's going to be an icing on Washington. 5:06 to go in the first period. Just so far for the Capitals. They had a good start, good jump, nothing after that. Edmonton, as I previously mentioned, tomorrow night Dallas leads their series 2-1 over the President's Trophy winners of Winnipeg Jets. That'll be on ESPN at 7 o'clock. Wednesday will be Game 5 of Florida-Toronto. That series is tied up at 2. And then Game 5 of Vegas-Edmonton on, I believe, Thursday or Wednesday. I'm not sure. 10-6. The faceoffs won in favor of the Capitals. They win another one. And they cleared out of the zone as Protas will try to send it in deep. Could not. As it's picked up here by Carolina, and Kakanyemi moves into the zone. A shot. Save made by Thompson. Robinson along the boards. Kakanyemi knocked it down via high stick, but waved off as Capitals touched it up. Van Riemsdyk. Alexiev has the puck now with 4:40 to go, and then passes it across for Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who clears it out to center ice. Knocked down there by Dowd. Duhaime, and it's held in at the line by Dowd. Drops it off to the point for Alexiev. Waiting, shooting through traffic. It was blocked. Beauvillier with the puck now. Waiting with the puck. Rimmed it all the way around. Duhaime, and now Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Now for Duhaime along the boards. He gets it back off the pass from Trevor Van Riemsdyk. They send it in deep. Not deep enough as a shot was blocked out in front by Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Alexiev rimmed it all the way around behind the net. Pressured was Beauvillier. Got taken down by Kakanyemi. Taylor Hall trying to clear it out of the zone, and it's skidded out of the zone just barely. Van Riemsdyk with the puck. Chips it in. Ovechkin trying to get it. Brent Burns, both the eights, getting together there. And it's flipped out to center ice. Here's Martinook on the chance. 1-on-2. Looking. And he'll just backhand into the corner. Carlson. And then Aho is pursuing there. Svechnikov and a penalty upcoming. Washington's going to go back to the power play. An offensive zone penalty as Chychrun maybe got high sticked. And I think there's blood. And this might be a 4-minute. It is going to be a 4-minute. So the Washington Capitals have a huge opportunity here on the power play. They're going to be up by one man, and they're going to have a 4-minute power play, I believe. I saw from the referee. I believe it was Garrett Rank that put up 4. Martinook in the box for a high sticking. And oh wow, that's a whack right there. Right up into the nose. And he's bleeding. So this will be a 4-minute power play for the Washington Capitals, and a huge opportunity to level this game and take control of it going into the intermission. So the remainder of this period will be a Washington power play. And Jordan Stahl, Jarvis, Slavin, and Burns, the penalty killers for the Hurricanes, as the top units out here for the Capitals again on the power play. They're 0 for 1 as Ovechkin goes back to the point for Carlson. Sends it low for Strome, and it skates, and it's cleared out the center. They just have not connected at all. One shot, and that deflected again. Strome has been brutal. Not had much here in this game. Seems like they're already going to change lines and units out here. They've not been able to control the puck at all. Chychrun with the puck now. He'll drop it off for Dylan Strome into the zone. He'll shoot it back in from the blue line. Wilson trying to get it. Slavin. And it is cleared out of the zone by Jarvis as he got taken down. Chychrun now passes it up, and Wilson re-enters, and then it's deflected away. Offside at the line with 2:53 to go, and nothing on this Washington power play. It just looks terrible. Nothing much. Ovechkin with that hit on Jarvis. Perimeter shot attempts 3 in the second round. 1 slot shot attempt. 0 one-timers in this series. That is bad for Alex Ovechkin. 4 shot attempts. That's not the Alexander Ovechkin we know, and Carolina's been very good at limiting him off in this series so far. But this could all change if the Capitals can break through. Almost a perfect penalty kill for the Carolina Hurricanes. It's turnover at the blue line. Orlov, and now passes it up for Aho, shorthanded, and then it's broken up there. Could have been a great pass there, and save made by Thompson up into the corner. It just looks terrible right now. Capitals just look dejected. Sandin drops it off for Dubois. They just haven't been able to connect any passes. Pass is broken up again, and it's cleared out to center. This penalty kill for the Carolina Hurricanes is one of the best in the league for a reason. And it shows on this 4-minute power play as they're about to kill off the first half of this penalty on Martinuk. Backhanded back in. Slavin clears it out to center again. Wow. Here's Carlson trying to chip it in, and it's almost cleared out again by Slavin. Loose along the boards. It's cleared out again by Stahl. Man, has this power play looked terrible. Ovechkin now to Carlson. Drops it off for Chikrin. It just seems like these passes are just not on the tape right now. It's Anderson out to play it. Knocked down by Wilson. But then Orlov picks up the puck as it caromed off the glass. And it's cleared out to center ice. Ovechkin has the puck and he'll pass it back to his defensive zone. Carlson moves it up for Wilson. Dropped it off for Strome. Maybe something here, and it's a turnover at the blue line instead. 2-on-1 sure-handed. Robinson with Aho. Robinson save Thompson. The best opportunity on the Capitals power play was a sure-handed opportunity for the Hurricanes. Strome drops it off. Sandin trying to get through. Chatfield trying to get it. And Orlov clears it down the length of the ice again. In the final minute, a 1-0 lead. Strome frustrated. He has not had much in this series. McMichael in. Passes it across. Leonard rimmed it all the way around Mangiapane. To the point, held in. Dubois, loose along the boards. Fought for Slavin. Stahl trying to clear it out of the zone. Goes back to the point for Sandin. 24 seconds to go. One-timer. Missed the net wide, and it's cleared. That's the best opportunity the Capitals have had all this power play. Deflected back in. This power play is just brutal. Brent Burns trying to get it out. 10 seconds to go. McMichael looking pass back. Oh, he missed the net. Dubois with the opportunity. And it's cleared down the length of the ice. Can you believe that? A open net for Dubois, and he missed it. 24 seconds remain on the Washington power play, but a 1-0 lead. It is raucous here at Lenova Center. Man, oh man, what a chance at the horn, basically, for Pierre-Luc Dubois, and he missed the net. Let's see here. He starts this play, actually, here. We'll see how this ended up. Strome with a turnover. He has been very bad in this game and in this series. And then a great save by Thompson on Robinson. I guess we're not going to see the opportunity. I think he just plain out just missed a net. McMichael with that opportunity early on. Ovechkin with that hit. The goal in the first period. The first one of this series. A first period goal does happen in this series. Shane Gostisbehere. And the Capitals, is it done for them in this postseason? Do they have enough? We'll see. We'll see if they make a response in the second period as we'll go to a break, and then we'll be back with our intermission report coming up next. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody, to the intermission report and a 1-goal lead for the Carolina Hurricanes here in game number 4 as they have a 1-goal lead off the goal by Shane Gostisbehere to make it 1-0. The wrist shot at 10:24. A bad line change for the Capitals. Gostisbehere just dancing the blue line on Duhaime, trying to find some room, and then he did. There's a screen in front and just throws it on net, and it's into the back of the net. So they lead 1-0. They start to kill off a little bit of power play time for the Capitals. They have not been able to set up at all. Carolina's had one of the best penalty kills in the league and in these playoffs as well, as Martinuk took a high sticking call and a double minor. That is about to expire in 24 seconds as we return to that second period soon. Capitals are 0 for 3 on the power play so far, which is just brutal. They need to get back in this series, and if they're not going to score on their opportunities they're going to get, they might be over for the Washington Capitals season, as they're getting outshot 13-8, and the faceoffs in favor of the Capitals, 58% of them. The hits in favor of the Capitals, 14-11. The block shot 7-4 in favor of the Capitals. Giveaways 4-3 in favor of the Capitals. Takeaways 1-0 in favor of the Hurricanes. This is the series so far. Game 1, 2-1 overtime. 3-1 Washington in Game 2. And a 4-0 shutout. And the Carolina, again, is leading by 1. But for the first time in the series, we've had a first period goal. Hasn't happened in the series just yet. And it happened here with Shane Gostisbehere with a goal from the boards, and he makes it 1-0 in favor of the Hurricanes in game number 4. They're trying to take a 3-1 series lead here in Raleigh, North Carolina, here in their home building, Lenovo Center, as they look to try to advance to the Eastern Conference Final. They'd be one win away if they win this one here, but you know the Capitals are not going to go away without a fight. They need a better second period. They just looked terrible after they had a very good start to the game. That's been kind of the trend in this series in Raleigh, North Carolina, when they're playing in the Lenovo Center. They had good starts, and then something just dejects them, and they don't play after that. They just don't look good after that. They need to get good now, or else it's going to be do or die for them in Game 5 if they lose this game. So, comment down below what do you think about this. What do the Capitals have to do, and what has been working right for the Carolina Hurricanes? We'll be back with the intermission report coming to an end here with the second period coming up next. Welcome you back, everybody, as the Washington Capitals are trying to even the series up at 2, as the Carolina Hurricanes are trying to take a 3-1 series lead. The Washington Capitals with a 4-minute power play, and almost all of it has been killed off. The goal by Shane Gostisbehere. I was watching a replay of the goal, and one of the Carolina Hurricanes just took down one of the Capitals, and Ovechkin's just stunned on the bench. They need their top guys to respond. So far, it has not happened. The Jack Adams Award finalist Spencer Carberry, he's probably not worried about that trophy. He's trying to look for a Stanley Cup. And so far, these Capitals have not looked good much in this series. Their best game was in Game 2. They won that 3-1. Bounced in on Anderson. He blocked it away. Goes into the corner. Burns. Slavin. Slowed down. 5 seconds left on the go on the 4-minute power play. It's cleared down the length of the ice again. Re-entrance here by the Capitals, but the power play's expired. A 4-minute opportunity, and it's all gone. Wilson, nothing taken advantage of there. Maybe a 2-on-1 here. Martinook and Jarvis. Martinook trying to center it. It was blocked away by Waugh, and Chychrun will play it off the glass for Wilson. Now for Strome, and it's poked away. He's not had the best game or best series. Waugh passes it back. Here's Strome again. Pass for McMichael, got tripped up a little bit there, and it's cleared out the center ice. Here's Jarvis. Pass across for Aho. Aho shoots it, and it went off the goalpost. Score on the rebound, Jarvis. An early goal, and it's 2-0. Seth Jarvis on the rebound. The initial shot went off the goalpost by Sebastian Aho through a screen, or went off the glove of Thompson and then off the post, and then the rebound by Jarvis was banked in. And a 2-goal lead for the Hurricanes, an early one. 1 minute and 5 seconds into the second period. And for the second time in the series, the Hurricanes have a 2-goal lead in a game. They're 29-0 this season when taking a multi-goal lead. McMichael tries to get through. He could not. Trying to make it 30-0 and try to take Game 4. Blake Stono off the puck on the back check. Protas, a 2-goal deficit again for the Washington Capitals. Protas gets through. Dubois into the corner. Waiting along the boards. Dubois gets it free. Centering pass to the point. Save. Loose, and it was wide on the rebound. Protas with the opportunity. Dubois, and then a centering pass to McMichael goes into the corner for Protas. Response shift here for the Capitals. Trying to get a goal back. Seth Jarvis is third of the playoffs. Aho and Orlov with the assists. In the corner, along the wall. Chatfield trying to get it. McMichael still. Protas all battling for the puck in the corner. 2 minutes have passed here in the second period, as the Carolina Hurricanes have the majority of the shots, and it's cleared out the center ice as nothing is going well for the Washington Capitals. Alexiev now has the puck now for the Washington Capitals. Race for the puck with Leonard. Walker, centered. And Mangiapane will rim it all the way around, intercepted by Walker in the corner. Leonard drawing back into the lineup for the Capitals for the first time since Game 1 of this series. Thompson out to play it. Rimmed it off the glass. And not out of the zone just yet. A turnover into the slot. Drop pass for Roslovic, couldn't go. Sent it into the corner still. Stankoven, Stahl, and Robinson line. Shot save made. Roslovic line. Seth Jarvis, the latest goal scorer for the Carolina Hurricanes. The rebound shot banked in off of Thompson. The initial shot by Aho went off the glove of Thompson and off the crossbar. It looked like a very savable shot. Orlov with the steal on McMichael led to the rush, though. It was a 2-on-2 initially, and then this shot went off grazed off the crossbar, and Jarvis on the rebound puts it home in a 2-0 lead. And they have a 2-goal lead on 15 shots. They've dominated. They've already had, I believe, 14 shots in the period. Shot blocked off the face-off. Blake with the opportunity. Walker will shoot it back in. Deflected and out of play. Man, it hit the weird part of the glass. 2:56 in. As we're almost 3 minutes into the second period, pardon me. 2-0 Carolina. Game number 4 of this Eastern Conference semifinals, and the Capitals have not looked good so far. In game number 4, the hits favoring the Capitals, though, 15-12. So the physicality has ramped up here in Raleigh. Been like this in the series. Chychrun out of the reach there, and potentially an icing here, and it is. So before this matchup even happened in this playoff year, there was a matchup before, like a week or two before the regular season came to an end, and very physical stuff, and it was Chatfield just throwing, I believe, one of the Capitals to the ice. Not sure, I'm not familiar who was it, but that shot blocked out in front, and that's why this rivalry kind of brewed up a little bit before the playoffs started, and another icing on the Capitals. But that's why the tensions are already up when entering this series for Carolina and Washington. And now Carolina has a stranglehold right now. For Carolina just has a stranglehold right now at the moment, obviously. As a face-off here in the Washington zone. And Blake trying to get it loose along the boards. Beauvillier, Chychrun. 2 Capitals were tied up there. Shot in from the blue line. It was blocked. Here come the Capitals the other way. Dowd looking. Pressured off the puck for a moment. Sent deep into the corner. Walker will pick it up. Duhaime almost stole it away. Finishing the check was Eller. And it's cleared out to center ice. A 2-on-1. Blake looking. Drags across. And he couldn't get the pass for Gostisbehere on his stick. I thought he was going to go backhand on that. Duhaime flips it out to center ice, and Burns. Now Kotkaniemi onside. Kotkaniemi, the pass out of the reach of Martinuk. Centering pass deflected. Ovechkin picks it up. Just clogging up that neutral zone has been the effective strategy here. Ovechkin across, a shot, save made by Anderson on Strome. And all the opportunities the Capitals do have, they've all been stopped by Anderson. The best chance of the game right there. A huge save on Dylan Strome by Anderson. Shot wide of the net. McMichael trying to get it out of the zone. Loose along the boards and picked up here, and Sandin will shoot it back in from center ice. It's like a do-or-die game here for the Washington Capitals. They're down by 2 in the game. If they lose this game, they're down 3-1. It becomes worrisome if you don't lose this or win this game, pardon me. Van Riemsdyk picking up the puck. They have a lot of time still. 5 minutes have only passed here in the second period. Deflected into the middle. Sandin will chip it back into the corner. Chatfield will get it now. And a race with McMichael. Loose along the wall, and Orlov picks it up. Not cleared out of the zone yet, as Svechnikov couldn't get it out. Shot went wide into the net, and it goes into the corners. Aho will flip it out to center ice. And Van Riemsdyk has the puck now. Off the boards, near the benches, offside at the line. With 14:39 remaining in the second period. The last time that the Hurricanes have surrendered a 2-goal lead was back last year against the New York Rangers on May 16th, 2024, when the Rangers won it 5-3. They were up 2-0 and 3-1 in the second period. They're up 2-0 right now in the second period. That was the last time they surrendered a 2-goal lead. That was in Game 6, trying to force it to a Game 7 at MSG. They had a 3-1 lead, and it looked like they were. But then a Chris Kreider hat trick. Kind of like Messier. That one's going to be a whistle here. And the Rangers won that game 5-3 to move on to the Eastern Conference Final in game number 6 here in this same building. As the Capitals trying to do the same here and try to tie the series up at 2. Ovechkin and Strome combining with an opportunity and denied by Anderson early on in this period. And Ovechkin is just frustrated on the bench. He is saying a lot of stuff that we probably can't say. He's probably saying another language too, so. Yeah, the 16-10 in favor of the Hurricanes. The shots on goal right now at the moment. And only 2 shots for the Capitals in this period. The offense has not waken up here for the Capitals, and they need to do something about that. That's been the issue all series. Eller and Roslovic on the face-off dot. Face-off won here by Eller, who's part of that 2018 Stanley Cup championship team with the Washington Capitals. Van Riemsdyk, and it's moved up to center ice. Eller, stone away. Chatfield moves it up, and Stankoven will chip it back in. Taylor Hall pursuing for the puck. Has the puck now and goes back to the point. Slavin across. Now Chatfield's shot wide of the net. It's actually Orlov, and he holds it at the line. Shot was blocked out in front of the net. And here's a 3-on-2 for the Capitals. Eller drops it off. Across. Leonard's shot! And it missed wide of the net. A 4-on-2 rush. And nothing for the Capitals. And now the other way. It's a 3-on-2. Stankoven carries it in. Looking. Pass in the middle. Chatfield denied by Thompson. .13:44 to go in the second. We'll go to break. A 2-0 lead. Seth Jarvis, the latest goal scorer in Game 4. We're back, everybody. A 2-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes over the Washington Capitals. We thank you for watching again. We've gotten some great support the past couple of live streams, and I'd like to thank you all again for tuning in. We hope to continue the coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs here on MHS Network and MHS2 and Game 4 of this game as the Carolina Hurricanes have a 2-0 lead over the Washington Capitals. Alexander Ovechkin on the bench, needing a good performance. He has not performed in this series. No points in the series, as he looks to guide his team potentially to another Stanley Cup run. But right now, is the second round curse back for the Washington Capitals, like it was when they kept losing to the Penguins in the second round or the Rangers, just continuing to lose to the underdogs or the lower seeds. Stolen away there. Beauvillier has the puck. 6.5 minutes have passed by here in the second period. A 2-0 lead. 1:05 in, it was Seth Jarvis on the rebound off an Aho shot that went off the crossbar. And that's why it's 2-0 in favor of the Hurricanes. Loose along the boards. 5 shots for the Hurricanes in this period. Only 2 for the Capitals. Sandin will clear it off the glass. That's going to be another icing here on Washington. No, it's not. It's waved off at the last second. For a moment, I thought it was. It just waved off at the literal last second. Martinuk with the puck. Goes behind the net for Stahl. Got disrupted from behind by Chychrun. Carrier has it in the corner. Strome, and then rimmed all the way around. Stahl was trying to get it tied up with Chychrun. Ovechkin trying to get to the loose puck. Could not. A huge hit there, and a shot and a slot by Martinuk. Just missed the net wide. Wilson tried to clear it. Carrier shot save made from the blue line. A slap shot, and Chychrun tries to move it up for Ovechkin. Gets bumped there by Carrier. They tie up for a moment, and then Burns will move it up, and then that's going to be an icing. No, it's not. Not even close. My bad. Chychrun now with the puck, and he will look to move it up. That's out of the reach. No icing there as it went on goal. Anderson tries to stretch it up for a 2-on-1 with Jarvis and Svechnikov. That couldn't connect. Held at the line by Chatfield. Aho gets it now. Sends it low into the corner. Svechnikov looking. Waiting along the boards. He gets into the high slot, and the shot was blocked. Loose, and Van Riemsdyk went down. Another icing by the Capitals. That's just a common phrase I'm saying now in the second period. Icing on the Capitals. Icing on the Capitals. Icing on the Capitals. That's just a... Man. Washington hasn't had much. Carrier and Ovechkin was getting tied up earlier on in that shift. Then Chatfield getting leveled by Ovechkin. He's just trying to get some energy to his team now, because he has not found that energy in scoring or points. Probably the most physical we've seen Ovechkin in a while, too, in the playoffs. 3 hits in this game. Van Riemsdyk trying to clear it out of the zone. Svechnikov goes low. Oh, save! Thompson on the one-time bid by Sebastian Aho. Denied by Logan Thompson, who's kept the Capitals in the game. Along the boards, McMichael sent it in deep, intercepted by Orlov, and Svechnikov drops it off for Chatfield in the circle. In their own zone as Orlov gets it now from the blue line. Lost the handle, poked away there, and potentially a 2-on-1. McMichael with Protas. Centering pass was blocked away. Great defensive play to get back. Carlson. And try to re-enter there was Protas. At center ice, McMichael has the puck. He got tripped up and then still sent it in deep. Anderson had to play it off the boards, and the Hurricanes will clear it out of the zone. Carlson has the puck. Almost too many men there on Carolina. That's not going to be icing. No, it is going to be icing. 10:46 to go in the second period here. Game number 4. The Hurricanes trying to take a 3-1 series lead to Washington and try to close it out. The Capitals are trying to win one on the road. They're 1-2 on the road in this postseason. They lost Game 3 in Montreal, won Game 4. That's their only win. William Byron, the 2024 and 2025 Daytona 500 winner, was doing that siren. The lady told him that's enough on the siren. Shot was blocked. Wilson shot it wide on the rebound shot. Then Ovechkin had an opportunity. Strome looking. Pressured by the Caps. They need one here for sure. Wilson looking again. Still on the backhand. Goes for Waugh along the board. Centering pass. Ovechkin couldn't get a stick on it as he was tied up by Chatfield. Diving play by Wilson. They held it in. Wilson gets it back. Centering pass. Just missed wide of the net by Strome. Wilson goes back to the point. Waugh shot. Wide of the net. Sandin looking. Waiting. Goes behind the net for Strome into the corner. To the line. Shot by Watt. Deflected wide. Ovechkin had an opportunity, and he missed it wide. Blake, and it's cleared out of the zone out to center ice. Waugh. Hurricanes can't get a change here. Here's Wilson into the corner. Robinson's been out there for a minute and 20. Intercepted there, and Kakiniemi will send it down the length of the ice. Orlov and Chatfield were out there for 2.5 minutes and no icing. Just barely. Great shift by the Capitals. Can't convert, though. That's been the storyline where Anderson's just been great in the series. Van Riemsdyk. And in these playoffs, too. Chychrun turned over at the line. No, it's an offside anyways. With 9:29 to go. It felt like the Capitals were going to get one right there, and they did not. Some great chances. Waugh with the centering pass here for Strome, or went off the stick. Then it's just been very good so far by the Hurricanes defensively. 9:29 to go in the second period. It is still a 2-0 lead for the Hurricanes. We'll be back. We're back, everybody, with 9:29 left to go in the second period. It's a 2-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes over the Washington Capitals. They lead the series 2-1. The Hurricanes, they look to take a 3-1 series lead, and they're up by 2. There's that kid who's dressed up as Jarvis, basically. The Jarvis impersonator kid in the back, right behind Rod Brindamore. Shows up to every single home game of these playoffs so far. They have been perfect with him in the crowd, too. He's a perfect 4-0. Mine trying to make it 5-0. As the Hurricanes are up by 2, they lead the shots 20-12. 4 shots for the Capitals in this period. They've had some opportunities to get back in the game, but Anderson's standing tall on his head. As it's flipped out to center ice, Mangiapane, 7th straight playoff appearance, longest in franchise history for the Hurricanes. Stankoven chips it into the corner. Carlson flips it off the glass and out to center ice, race for the puck. Leonard was trying to get it, and Taylor Hall is pressured by Lars Eller. Then that pass for Stankoven couldn't go. Into the corner, Carlson backhands it for Leonard. Moves it up for Lars Eller through the middle. Drops it off for Mangiapane at the line. And then it's intercepted. Burns, and there's going to be a icing there with 8:46 to go in the second period. A lot of icings in this second period, as it's still a 2-0 lead. Rod Brindamore with the Hurricanes as the head coach, 44-38, career playoff record. They're looking to make the Eastern Conference Finals, of which they either play Florida, a rematch of the 2023 Eastern Conference Final, or Toronto for the first time since 2002. It'll be the first time since 2002 that the Toronto Maple Leafs would move on to the Eastern Conference Final. Dubois trying to center it, could not go for McMichael. Goes back to the blue line for Chychrun. Into the middle, broken up there. Stankoven, there's not enough room for the Capitals to move in and develop some plays. That's deflected out to center. And the Hurricanes trying to get the puck again as the Capitals were trying to re-enter. Chychrun has the puck and then lost to the Aho. With some patience there, and he passes it for Burns. Back for Aho again. A Capital fell down behind the play. 3-on-3, dropped off there. As Svechnikov was trying to center it for Aho, broken up there. And McMichael will move it up. Looking, and he'll just shoot it in from center ice. It's Orlov behind the net, and then Chatfield now will move it up. Aho, along the boards, will chip it in from the blue line. Along the board still, and it's fished free there by Wilson. Dropped it off for Strome. Centering pass, got through everybody. Ovechkin's shot, block it away. Carlson shoots, and it was blocked out in front of the net. Strome in the corner, goes back to the point for Sandin. Wilson knocked down Sandin, couldn't get the pass. A great defensive play again. That's been the talk for the Hurricanes. They've been great defensively. Ovechkin, that pass for Sandin could not connect as Orlov intercepted it. Passing has not been great for the Capitals in this one. Behind the net, it's Stahl, pressured by Sandin, stolen away by Sandin. And pressure here. Walker shot. Loose in front of the net. And Stahl couldn't get a stick on it. Carlson will clear it out of the zone. Walker trying to re-enter. Robinson's back in on side. Sends it low for Stahl behind the net. He has the puck and then goes back to the point. Gossesberry, who scored the first one, shot wide of the net. It deflected wide of the net, and Wilson will pick up the puck. It got taken down by Blake. No penalty. And then stolen away again. Here's Duhaime. 2-on-1 here. Duhaime, he shot and is stopped. It's just been the Freddie Anderson show. That deflected out of play into the bench with 6:16 left to go. As the Capitals had an opportunity. Brandon Duhaime with the opportunity to get the Capitals on the board. And denied by Freddie Anderson. As I don't know if he found on the shot. No, he didn't. Just right into the blocker of Freddie Anderson. Greatly positioned there. This deflection here out in front by Stahl was stopped. And the Capitals kind of trying to catch up on the shots now. They're at 15. Hurricanes have been sending at 20 for a little bit. The Hurricanes and Capitals. Round 2 series, game number 4. After this game, it'd be Edmonton-Vegas. That series had a lot of scoring. Covered game 3. Face-off 1 here. And Van Riemsdyk will shoot it back in. That's knocked down at center. Here's Alexiev with the puck now. And banks it off the boards at center ice. It's loose along the boards. Dowd with the puck. It's at center. Blake dropped it off. Robinson backhands it into the corner. Blake trying to get it away from Van Riemsdyk, who has the puck. Poke checked away by Kotkaniemi. He'll rim it all the way around. Brent Burns trying to get it along the boards. But Alexiev has it now. And here's Beauvillier with a pass. He's in and he shoots and it's stopped by Anderson with 5:41 to go. So the Capitals getting chances. All have been stopped by Anderson. 16 shots he's faced, and all of them have been denied. 5:41 to go in the second period. It's a 2-0 lead for the Hurricanes. We'll be back as the Capitals trying to fight for their playoff lives. They're down 2-1 in the series and 2-0 in the game. We're back, everybody, with 5:41 to go in the second period. It's a 2-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes as of the moment. And the Washington Capitals pressing some chances. They have not been able to get a goal past Freddie Anderson as the Stars, or pardon me, not the Stars. The Hurricanes have been in control for the majority of this one with 5:41 to go. As we welcome you in, if you're just tuning in with us, Max, delighted to have you with us here. A 2-0 lead for the Hurricanes, and if you're already tuned in, then here's your reminder that my name is Max. 2-0 lead, and the Capitals trying to press for a goal here. As Strome trying to win the faceoff. Ovechkin has a chance. He got tripped up a little bit there. To the line, wash shot, blocked out in front of the net as it went into the corner. And Stahl will pick up the puck. A 2-goal lead. That's knocked down via high stick for a moment. Not whistled down just yet as it's pinned along the boards in the Washington zone in the corner. Loose along the wall. Still loose. Up for grabs, and then it's Strome who tries to pick it up. Pressured by Stahl from behind. Waugh will clear it out of the zone at the center ice. Ovechkin dropped it off for Strome and his skates. Ovechkin gets it again. Rimmed it all the way around behind the net. Strome is just still tied up there by Jordan Stahl and is cleared out of the zone. That might be an icing here, and it will be. With 4:54 to go in the second period, an offensive zone faceoff for the Capitals. Spencer Carberry trying to get something going here. And for the Oilers, they're walking in. McDavid trying to take a 3-1 series lead over the Vegas Golden Knights, but a buzzer beater heartbreaker by the Golden Knights in Game 3. Won Game 3 with a buzzer beater by Riley Smith with 2 goals in that game. Very impressive performance by Riley Smith. It's loose along the boards, and Stahl gets it free. Deflected, it's still held in. McMichael, if he was a little bit more up, probably could have had a good chance there. As Stahl will move it up along the perimeter. Just chipped it into the corner. McMichael will pick up the puck now. Had that chance early on. He had the post chanced. And if that had gone in, maybe this game would have been so different if that McMichael opportunity that hit the goalpost had gone in. McMichael behind the net, looking to center it. He'll go back to the point, held in. As it's sent low, Dubois couldn't get a stick on it. And Jarvis will clear it out to the zone. Chikrin, pass across ice for McMichael, who chips it in from blue line. Dubois, loose along the boards, Chatfield, Jarvis. Chikrin with an opportunity, and it's blocked out in front of the net. Cleared out of the zone. No icing. Van Riemsdyk has the puck. That pass out of the reach of everybody. Knocked down there by Walker, so no icing on the Caps. Roslovic has the puck with 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. Hall dropped it off for a speedy Walker. Dropped it off for Hall again. Looking along the boards. Goes back to the point. Roslovic's shot. Save made by Thompson. Through traffic. With 3:24 to go in the second. Thompson's been the reason why the Capitals have been able to hold on and try to get their game going. But they need to find their game quick. They only have 23 minutes and 24 seconds of game time left to try to even the score here. The Hurricanes just trying to hold on for the remainder of this one and try to take a 3-1 series lead. Logan Thompson, 7-5 in the playoffs, 2.29 goals against allowed. That's his record in the postseason. He was with the Vegas Golden Knights in last year's first-round series against Dallas. Face-off one here. Gostisbehere made a move. Walker shoots, and a blocker save by Thompson. Roslovic goes into the corner. Stankoven trying to get it free along the board. Sandin was pressuring him from behind, and Beauvillier chips it off the boards. A little bit of contact with the stick up high. No penalty. Gostisbehere with the puck and clears it out to center ice. Taylor Hall pressured from behind. He'll just chip it in on the backhand into the corner. Waugh will get it now. Pressured by Roslovic. Stankoven trying to get it free. This line's been very good for Carolina. This line and the Aho, Jarvis line and Svechnikov. I always get those combined because they're just Kovs at the end. Here's a stretch pass here for Beauvillier. A shot deflected and out of play. A great defensive play by Brent Burns. And it looked like a sure goal would have happened there. And the Washington Capitals, growing frustration. And the Hurricanes delight right now as they're up by 2. And Brent Burns barely gets a stick on this to deflect this puck. Wow, what a defensive play by Brent Burns. Man, oh man. Barely got the blade on it. And a huge defensive play there to keep it a 2-0 lead. 13-8, the block shots favoring the Capitals. Face-off one here by Stahl. Slavin will clear it down length of the ice. It's going to be another icing here. We're going to restart in the face-off dot. 2:26 to go. As the Hurricanes 2-0 lead with 2:26 to go, as they've been able to limit the opportunities for the Washington Capitals like they've done all series. In Game 1, Washington only had 14 shots. In this one, they have 15 shots through 2. Looked like a tripping call. Will it be called? Yes, it will be. The Hurricanes to the power play, and a little bit of rough stuff after the whistle. But the Hurricanes are going to go to the power play, and Wilson is getting at it with Stahl. Carlson and Carey are getting tied up together. Some action at the blue line. And Walker, I believe, and Carlson. Carlson's throwing a little bit of punches there. Strome didn't like that. They're taking both to the box. Well, there's so many penalties out of this one. So the initial call, and I believe we're still going to have a Carolina power play here. Wilson's still barking. Wilson's saying it's a dive. And we will see Carolina. These are the calls about to happen. Wilson's just animated. He thinks it's a dive. An embellishment. Wow. Wilson's talking at the other bench right now. At Stahl. Oh, wow. Holy.
To be coming along. It's been quite nice.
28 minor penalty roughing. Washington 17 minor penalty roughing. Original number 8 tripping. Number 8's on the board for minor penalty.
So the Hurricanes are going to go to the power play. So they're saying that, yeah, Ovechkin, it looked like Ovechkin actually, yeah, Ovechkin gets the penalty on tripping Slavin there. And so Ovechkin's in the box, and Carolina will go to the power play. And Wilson has just been animated all night, kind of punched Stahl there. Got away with one, I think. Then Stahl returns the favor. So Strome and Ovechkin in the box for the Capitals. Two of that 3 top line in the box, tripping Ovechkin. And that's why we get a power play for the Hurricanes. Everyone's standing here at Lenova Center. They're 3 for 8 in this series, 2 for 2 in Game 3. They look to make it 1 for 1 tonight. Jarvis, pass back for Blake. Jarvis trying to center it, deflected up in the air. Where's the puck? Loose in front of the net, and it's cleared. Gostisbehere with the puck. Will drop it off. 1:40 to go in the second period. Aho, pass it. Shot! Save made on the blocker. Svechnikov to the point. Blake dancing the blue line now for Gostisbehere. They're looking to set up here. Aho. Back for Gostisbehere. To Aho! And it missed wide. 1 minute to go on the power play for the Hurricanes. 1:18 left to go in the second period. Here's Jarvis on the re-entry. Gostisbehere from the blue line. Return pass for Aho. In the corner, Svechnikov to the line. Gostisbehere held it in. Aho across, disrupted by Wilson on Jarvis's opportunity to get the puck. Blake to the point for Gostisbehere. Less than a minute to go. Aho faked the one-timer. Back for Gostisbehere again to Aho. Pressured by Waugh. Gostisbehere at the blue line for Jarvis. Back for Gostisbehere. Aho! Save made by Thompson. Aho gets it again. A pass across. Svechnikov in his skates. Couldn't handle it. Still has the puck, though. Centered. Got through everybody. And out of the zone. Power play expiring with 8 seconds left on it. Gostisbehere re-enters. Onside. 23 to go in the period. Power play is over. Taylor Hall to the point. Burns. Shot. Deflected. Save. Thompson. A huge save. It deflected, and he barely got a pad on it. Taylor Hall with an opportunity with 5 seconds to go. Circles back and waits. 3 seconds to go. Across for Burns. A second left shot, and it deflected out of play. The second period comes to a close as the Hurricanes were so close to making it 3-0. But the Capitals hold on with some huge saves by Thompson. We will see if they can respond to that, get some energy. The Hurricanes are doing everything right against the Washington Capitals. We'll have an intermission report coming up next. welcome to the Intermission Report. Sorry, everybody, but I had to do something real quick. And welcome in and back, everybody. In the Intermission Report, 2-0 Carolina after 2 periods of play. 25-15, the shots favoring the Carolina Hurricanes so far in the hockey game. And they added on to their shot total. They had 13 in the first. They had 12 in the second. 7 for the Capitals, as both the teams just had one less than they had in the previous period. As the shots are 25-15 in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes, and a 2-0 lead off the goal by Seth Jarvis, a minute and 5 in, a bat shot. That's what they call it, I guess. No, I just thought it was a rebound, and it's a 2-0 lead. Let's look at what the play was, actually. A great back check there on McMichael, then led to Seth Jarvis passing into Aho. Aho's shot went off the glove of Thompson, off the crossbar, and then batted home by Jarvis on the rebound. Aho and Orlov with the assists, and a 2-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes. A minute and 5 in. That's the only goal in that second period as well. 2-0. Hurricanes trying to hold on and win this game and try to take the series 3 games to 1, or try to take a 3-1 series lead in the series. As these are the stats after 2 periods, 3 penalties in that span, and all at the same time. Roughing, tripping, everything. 0 for 1 on the power play is the Carolina Hurricanes. 0 for 3 are the Capitals. 54% the faceoffs have been favored by the Washington Capitals. The hits in favor of the Capitals 33-28. They've been physical, as they just haven't been able to put anything into the net. 2 periods, and it's been a struggle for the Washington Capitals. They need a huge comeback in the third to try to even this up, potentially force into overtime, and try to save their season right now. As we'll be right back after this. We welcome you back to the third period as the Carolina Hurricanes have a 2-goal advantage over the Washington Capitals. They look to close it out here at home, and can they finish it off? Can they put the dagger potentially in this game, or will the Capitals get back in this game and try to respond? Third period's underway. Thompson out of his net, plays it off the glass, and a bouncing puck is not cleared out just yet. Slavin had held it in for a moment. Wilson tied up with Strome, and Strome went down as they were tying up with each other. Wow will get it between the circles. 22 straight playoff road losses when trailing by 2+ goals, excluding the bubble for the Washington Capitals. That's not a good stat for them if they want to win this game. Ovechkin was slow to get up there in the corner. He'll go for a line change as Jarvis Svechnikov's shot might have gotten a piece of the goalpost. 3-on-3 the other way. Strome will backhand it into the corner. This has been the game so far. Dump and chase for the Capitals. Has not worked out yet. They have not been able to score. Frederik Andersen has been able to keep the Capitals off the boards for a minute and 118 minutes plus as of right now. Strome with the puck. Flips it up to center ice. Race for the puck. Protas was trying to get it. It was knocked down, so he couldn't get the pass. That's out of his reach right there. Dumped back in. Picked up the loose puck with Lou Dubois, and it caromed into the glove of Anderson. A weird one there. And we get a face-off in the Washington, or not, pardon me, not the Washington zone, the Carolina zone. And I know we dropped viewers because I didn't do the intermission report, so I apologize for that, everybody. So pardon me on that one, but hope you're still watching with us as we continue to cover the Stanley Cup playoffs. Off the face-off one here. Here's Chychrun. Winds up and fires, and he fanned on the shot potentially there as Jarvis makes a move on Chychrun. He shoots, and it's blocked out in front of the net. Blocked by Van Riemsdyk. McMichael can't get to the puck quickly. Roslovic ties it up along the boards. Protas gets it free. Behind the net. Plays it into the middle as Dubois will move it up and backhand pass across. Re-entrance here. Chance Dubois. If that connected, that could have been a very good chance. Dubois has a chance here. Goes back to the point. Van Riemsdyk's shot was blocked. He went down while taking the shot. Protas. He shoots, and it's up in the air. It's loose in the slot. Where's the puck? Walker gets it, and he'll clear it. No icing by the linesman. They wave it off. Didn't have enough for it. But a very good chance potentially there for the Capitals. Kind of dissolved. Van Riemsdyk just all pushing for that 2-1 goal to get some momentum back on their side and potentially tying this game and potentially sending it to overtime. But so far it's just not been the case in this game. Stankov, and then another shot was stopped. Taylor Hall on the backhand in the circle. Taylor Hall gets it again. Shot save made by Thompson. A huge opportunity there, and Thompson comes up big there. His 25th stop of the night. And he still has not seen a goal by his team in the past 4 periods. Or 3 in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. He has not been able to see a goal from his team, which is honestly ridiculous. 62 minutes and 42 seconds of being shut out. Shot save made. Rebound shot off the outside of the net on the Blake chance. And Gostisbehere couldn't hold it in. Rush here for the Capitals. Duhaime looking, waiting, delaying. He fanned on the pass. And Sandin was looking to go back. He had held it in. He did not know it, but he was going back anyways. Waugh has the puck. Flips it back in to the corner. Brent Burns pressured. And then a turnover here. Waugh was trying to take advantage of it. Loose along the boards. Duhaime went down. Has the puck on a diving play and then lost it at Kakiniemi, and he clears it out to center ice. Race for the puck there, and Blake lost an edge. Chychrun. Almost too many men there for Washington. Almost looked like too many men there for Carolina as well. Walker, and it's intercepted. Shot back in from center. Glove saved by Thompson. 26 saves on 28 shots. Now 29. So now it's 27 saves. Carolina about to double up on the shots on Washington. They haven't been able to cleanly. And there's an offside there, I believe. There's a whistle. And I'm not sure what happened there. Brian Boucher, lowest goals against average in Game 4 of the playoff series, all-time minimum, 5 games started. Brian Boucher has the record with a 1.35. Marty Turco with 1.44 with the Dallas Stars. John Gibson with 1.55. Oli Kolzig, 1.60. And Stuart Skinner with 1.62, which is honestly insane. Looking at his stats right now. Wilson goes back to the point. Now Carlson winds one. He shoots it wide of the net intentionally. He was looking for someone in front of the net to try to put it into the net. Could not. Strome now for Wilson out of his reach, as Strome has not been able to connect with the passes. A diving play by Carlson to hold it in, but it's moved up by Martinook, who will just shoot it back into the corner. Thompson out to play it. Stahl was trying to get the puck. Intercepted here. Wilson deflected into the bench and out of play. Right into the Carolina bench. And a little bit of a chatter right afterwards with Wilson with the Carolina bench. And we get a stoppage. 15:37 to go is the time remaining for the Capitals from going down 3 games to 1. A Capitals team that looked like they were going to win it all has faced a Carolina team that has been very structured and has played very good defense in this series, has limited the Capitals' opportunities. Protas with some open room trying to center it, and he had 2 opportunities to center for McMichael. They were both blocked. Shot! And it deflected wide. Chatfield, and now Aho moves it up for the Hurricanes into the zone. Drop pass, Svechnikov for Jarvis. Shot! Save! Thompson. Rebound shot off the outside of the net, and he tried to bank it in of Logan Thompson. Dubois gets taken down. Jarvis. And then Protos is trying to get it. And Van Riemsdyk couldn't hold it at the line. He gets the puck now. Protos will shoot it back in. To the corner. More than 5 has passed here. Dubois trying to center it for Protos, who was open in the slot. To the point. Held in. Protos looking. Goes low. Waugh looking. Center. Chychrun scores! A huge goal for the Washington Capitals. Jacob Chychrun gets the Caps on the board. What a setup. Patience on that pass, and Chychrun puts into a wide open net. That ends the shutout for Frederik Andersen, who had shut out the Capitals for more than a minute and 15 of time. And a great play by Waugh, who centered it for Chychrun. Open net, and the Caps are right back in it with 14:42 to go. Chychrun was tapping his stick on the ice. Gostisbehere had went down to try to block the pass. He thought he was going to go back door. Open net, and Andersen was not ready for it. A huge goal for the Capitals, and they're right back in it. And this game is very well back. Now, it's back on again here in Raleigh. Rolls in on Thompson. He'll cover it with a glove. And with 14:36 to go, face-off in the Capitals zone. A huge goal by Jacob Chychrun. His 3rd of this postseason. The defenseman chipping in onto the offense. And he's made it a 2-1 game as a huge goal for the Capitals. Off the face-off one here by the Caps, and they clear it out of the zone and out of play. Will that be a penalty? I don't think it will be. 14:32 to go. Just a great patience by Matt Waugh right there. And Chychrun. Or Matt Roy. Is it Matt Roy? This is too late to figure out now. I think it might be Matt Roy. 25 comeback wins this season. Led the NHL. The Washington Capitals. We'll have to see at the commercial break if it's Roy or Waugh. Burns. And then it's taken down there. A 2-on-1 developing. Kakaniemi, a pass across. Too much to handle for Jackson Blake. He gets taken down in the corner. No penalty. Chychrun the other way. Speeding in. Looking. Backhands it around. As Beauvillier tried to get the puck there. Pressured by Kakaniemi. Kicked it to Mangiapane. Beauvillier centered it. Loosened the skates. Eller trying to get it away, and it's cleared. Race for the puck. It's going to be an icing on Carolina as Carlson beats Robinson to the brace. So on the first cap shot, I believe, of this period, or one of the few ones that they've had in this period, they get the goal, Chychrun, and he's made it a 2-1 game, and this game is very well back on. 13:53 left to go in the third period. Off the face-off, won by the Caps too cleanly. Gostisbehere gets a little bit of an interference there, no penalty. Here's Ovechkin. Great pass. Wilson stopped by Anderson. And a race for the puck the other way. Potentially a 2-on-1 if he beat the race. Sandin gets there first. Wilson, a rocket pass that couldn't connect for Strome. Van Riemsdyk gets back onto the bench. He was looking for a change, and then he got back on. It looked like maybe too many men there for Washington. That wasn't called. 13:20 left to go. Slavin has it, Orlov, and Stahl will shoot it back in. Knocked down by Martinuk. Van Riemsdyk got taken down into the front of the net. Everyone's tumbling down to the ice for the Capitals. Shot from the line, deflected. Blocked out in front of the net. Wilson thought he had Dubois. Dubois has to go back. He has some trouble with the puck, and they gave it up at center ice again. Here's Jarvis speeding in. He has the lead right now with that goal early on in the second period. Stolen away here, and McMichael will move it up for Dubois. Angled off by Aho. Shot over the net by Dubois. Protas up in the air. McMichael knocked it down for a moment, and Jarvis picks it up now. A 3-on-2 developing here for the Canes. Aho dropped it off for Jarvis. A backhand pass for Svechnikov off the goal crossbar. Can you believe that? He hit the crossbar with the opportunity. A perfect setup. And he hit the crossbar. Protas a 2-on-1. Protas, and he couldn't get the pass across. It was blocked. Stick was held. Orlov the other way. He's in. He waits for an option. He'll rim it all the way around. Canes thought there should have been a penalty for a holding of the stick. Roy or Wog gets it. Try to clear it. Not cleared out yet. Eller. I think it's Matt Roy. Shot back in again. Loose along the boards. Roslovic trying to get it away. Taylor Hall went down. Stolen away momentarily by Stankoven. And Eller will chip it back in. 11:44 remaining in the third period. The Capitals need one to tie it, to try to force an overtime and potentially a breakaway for Taylor Hall. He scores! Taylor Hall restores the 2-goal lead for the Hurricanes. A huge goal by the veteran. And they get the 2-goal lead back. He was behind the defense. Was that onside? I'm not sure. Looked on for the view I had. And I think that's going to count. See if they will challenge it or not. But a perfect shot by Taylor Hall. A huge goal for the Canes. After all those missed calls that they were wanting called, and this building is electrified again. And the Caps that just needed 1 goal to tie it are down by 2 again like the ends of this third period. It's a 3-1 lead. Loose, Beauvillier trying to get it away. Loose along the boards, Duhaime. Still a lot of time. Dowd with the puck. Dowd pressured by Kakiniemi to the line. Dowd fell down. Duhaime sent it into the corner. Intercepted by Gostisbehere. And Duhaime went down in the process, or Beauvillier went down in the process. Kakiniemi. And now, here is Blake into the zone. On the outside shot, glove saved by Thompson with 10:56 left to go, and a little bit of pushing and shoving right afterwards with Chychrun and Robinson. The Caps had it within 1, and then a huge goal by Taylor Hall to make it 3-1 in favor of the Hurricanes with 10:56 remaining in the third period. We'll be back. We're back, everybody, from commercial. It was a 2-1 game until Taylor Hall scores a breakaway goal for the Hurricanes, a huge goal. And 10:56 remaining. It seemed like the Capitals were pushing for that goal. Taylor Hall was just behind everybody. He was just waiting in the neutral zone. He found the pass. That's onside, and it's put on the blocker side. Not the usual blocker side, as Thompson has it on the other side. That's usually the glove side. But a huge goal there. And the Hurricanes restore their 2-goal lead with 10:56 to go here in Game 4. Face-off one here, loose. Capitals 10:52 away from being down 3-1 in the series. Duhaime, Taylor Hall with his second postseason goal of this postseason. Blake. And it's knocked down via high stick with 10:42 to go. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tomorrow and continue today, as well as the Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights play Game 4 of their series in Rogers Place at Edmonton, Alberta. Should be a very good one there. See if Vegas can tie the series, or the Oilers take a 3-1 series lead heading to the Fortress for game number 5. But a huge win. 2 goals by Riley Smith in that one, including the buzzer beater with 0.4 seconds left in the third. We had coverage of that. No one thought it was in the net originally in live speed, but it did go in, and the Vegas Golden Knights won that one. That pass is intercepted, and then Sandin is pressured there, and Stahl and Carlson come for a race. Deflected up in the air, knocked back in by Slavin with his hand. A stretch pass, Strome couldn't connect there, as here comes Slavin into the zone. Backhands it on goal, and a save made by Thompson, who gets hit in the head. Oh no! Logan Thompson got hit by one of the Hurricanes in the process of making the save. I think it went on one of the Hurricanes. Let's see here. Slavin's original backhand shot, and I believe, oh, it was Stahl who took the knee. He put him into the knee. The first was a high stick, and then a hit to the head with the knee by Stahl. They both get away with those penalties. Probably should have been penalties right there, but they're not going to call penalties in the last minutes of a crucial playoff game for sure. Van Riemsdyk couldn't knock it down, and then it's Protas who moves it up through the middle. The passing is just not connected here. Dubois with some speed. Look at him go. Center McMichael, and he missed the net. Wraparound attempt. It's blocked. Loose in the slot. Dubois just gained speed all of a sudden, and he almost did a solo effort to make it a 3-2 game, and Jarvis went down in the process. Dubois says, let me just do it myself, because no one else is doing it on this team. Pierre-Luc Dubois with the puck again. Pass across for Protas, who's pressured by Gostisbehere. That pass is intercepted. If you could count how much times a pass has been intercepted at center ice for the Capitals, you wouldn't even have enough to count. It's too much. Way too many turnovers at neutral ice. But clogging up that neutral zone is what the Carolina Hurricanes do. Dowd flips that back in. Gostisbehere pressured, and he's cleared out of the zone. Hall will drop it off for Stankoven. Hall with the latest goal to make it 3-1 on the breakaway. Loose along the boards, Roy. It's Roy now. I searched it up on Google. It's Matt Roy. Stankoven couldn't get it. Taylor Hall pressured. Dowd gets tripped up. Penalty upcoming to the Hurricanes. With 8:46 to go and a little bit of pushing and shoving right after the whistle. It was Beauvillier. And the Caps are going to go to the power play with 8:46 remaining. In the third period, a huge opportunity to get back in the game. 8:46 to go. We'll be back. We're back, everybody, with 8:46 left to go in the third period. It's a 3-1 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes. Dubois, and it's just been a struggle for the Capitals to get zone entries on the power play here. Great penalty killing by the by the Canes. But a crucial moment here has to put up the intensity here, obviously, for the Capitals on this power play. They're 0 for 3 on the night, and they need one here to get within one again. Strome trying to win the faceoff. He will. To the point it goes for Chychrun. That pass fluttered. Backdoor Ovechkin was there. The pass was blocked. Strome gets it. He shoots, and it's stopped. Rebound, Chychrun. Faked the shot. Now Strome looking. Back for Chychrun. 0 for 3. Only one shot on the power play. They had a 4-minute power play earlier on in the game. Strome to Chychrun. He found on this shot. Centering pass is blocked away, and it's cleared down the length of the ice. A stick broke in the process as well, and the Caps can't convert. So far, 35 seconds have passed. 8:10 left to go in the third period of Game 4. The Caps trailing the series 2-1. A huge hit on Wilson there on the entry. And there's a penalty upcoming on an interference with 8:03 to go, and a 2-man advantage for the Capitals for 1:18. And a chance to get back in this game. Rod Brindamore doesn't like the call, but a huge chance as Wilson draws the penalty. Interference, and the Caps have an opportunity to get back in this one. They're going to have a 2-man advantage for 1:18. That was clearly Orlov had no reason to do that. He didn't even have the puck. So Orlov goes into the box, one of the defensemen. Fewest power play goals remaining this teams in this playoffs, 4 for the Caps. Carolina tied for the most in power play goals with 9. But a huge opportunity as Taylor Hall and Orlov are in the box. Is there a timeout being called by Washington? No, there's not. It's going to be a 2-man advantage. Strome and Stahl on the faceoff dot. Ovechkin, Carlson, Chychrun, and Wilson out there with him. Strome wins the faceoff. Chychrun looking to Ovechkin. He shot it wide. Strome, 2-man advantage. Strome, Chychrun, looking to Strome again down low. Now in the circle. Back for Ovechkin. He scores! Alexander Ovechkin gets his first goal of the series. And we're back within one. And still a power play. With 7:46 to go, Ovechkin rips one home. And it's a 3-2 game. For a second, I thought that might have been wide. But he puts it into the back of the net. What a pass by Strome. Ovechkin deflected off of someone, I believe. Carlson or Wilson, potentially. And all of a sudden, that 2-man advantage converts. And the Capitals are right back in it. And Orlov knows. Put his head down. 1:43 remaining on a 5-on-4 power play. Can the Capitals tie it up? We will see. They've drawn within one twice in this period. They need one to tie it with 7:46 remaining in the third. Will we see overtime? That's the question. I want to see overtime. Please, Capitals, please. Burns will shoot it back in. Wide of the net. Ovechkin will drop it off for Chychrun. 7:37 remaining in the third period of Game 4. Chychrun for Wilson. Chips it in. Trying to draw another interference call. And then Stahl will slap it down the length of the ice. So far, 1 for 4 on the power play of the Capitals. Ovechkin with the goal. Might have deflected off of someone, though. So we were trying to wait for the official word on who got that goal. Strome. Now Chychrun waiting. Shot. Save made by Anderson. He had Ovechkin open in his office. Chychrun again. 7:05 to go. Chychrun fakes the shot. Now to Strome at the point. Looking, shooting. Deflected. It was blocked. And it's cleared out of the zone by Slavin. A 2-on-1 short-handed. Stahl to Martinuk. He shoots, and it's went wide of the net. Alexander Ovechkin with the goal. His 5th of the postseason. Strome and Chychrun. The intensity level has gone high here in this game as the power play still continues for another 35 seconds. Carlson will pass it across. Crowd rallying to hopefully kill the penalty. Walker gets it free in the corner. Still loose along the wall. Goes back to the point. Carlson across. Ovechkin shot. Blocked out in front of the net. Here's Aho the other way. Sure-handed. Looking for an option. He shoots it towards the front and a save made. Jarvis with the opportunity. Carlson, now Dubois. Power play about to expire. But the Capitals feeling it right now. Here's Protas, centering pass. Beauvillier couldn't get the shot away. Power play's over. They're 1 for 5. But they get a huge power play goal in the 2-man advantage. And there's still 5:50 left to go in this game. It's not over yet. Deflected into the corner. A penalty upcoming. And it's going against Carolina again. I think, no, it's not. It's going against Washington. Delayed penalty on the Capitals. Roslovic drops it off for Taylor Hall. Into the zone on the delayed penalty call. And Mangiapane picks it up, and a penalty upcoming. Dubois takes a terrible penalty at the end of this penalty kill by the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's not a great penalty to take there. Roslovic takes down Roslovic on an interference. 5:34 to go in the third period. Dubois might have just cost his team. 5:34 to go. It's 3-2 in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes. They get a power play when we return. 5:34 to go. A power play for the Carolina Hurricanes, pardon me. 3-2 the score. Sentinel into the ice. A huge power play here for the Hurricanes, trying to get their 2-goal lead back for the second time in the period. Alexander Ovechkin, the latest goal scorer, but Pierre-Luc Dubois takes a penalty for holding. A crucial time here. Aho, now to Jarvis. Return pass for Aho. Now Svechnikov along the boards. Goes back to the point. Gostisbehere shot wide of the net intentionally. Goes back to the point. Blake rimmed it all the way around, but intercepted there by Roy, and he'll clear down the length of the ice. 5 minutes to go in a third period where it's been high scoring, and the Capitals trying to draw even in the series and in this game to force potentially an overtime to try to win it. Svechnikov on the outside. To the point, Gostisbehere. Across for Blake. Back for Gostisbehere again. Goes low and along the boards. Back for Gostisbehere again. Looking at the blue line. A pass across. Aho goes low into the circle. Less than a minute left to go on the power play. Gostisbehere looking. Pass across Jarvis. Gets it back. Gostisbehere at the blue line. Jarvis gets it again outside the circle. Jarvis returns it back. Gostisbehere deflected into the slot, but the Caps can't clear it just yet. They were looking for a clear. Jarvis with a chance over the net. And out of play with 4:10 remaining in the third period with 37 seconds to go on the Carolina power play. Strome to Ovechkin. Rips one home. It deflected off of Slavin, so it looked like it changed up there. Bar down. It went off of Slavin. He was trying to block the shot, and it actually caromed off his body and into the net on the 2-man advantage goal, power play goal. But they're 1 for 5 in the game, the Washington Capitals. The only power play goal is that 2-man advantage. 4:10 left to go in the third. Faceoff is won by the Hurricanes. It looked like for the Caps for their second, we're going to win it. They can't clear it out yet until it's cleared out off the man of Kakanyemi. He went off his leg. He didn't even know where the puck was. Roslovic, less than 4 minutes left to go in the third period. Roslovic sends it across Stankoven on the outside. Looking to center it. He'll go back. Roslovic goes back to the point. Brent Burns to Taylor Hall. He shoots! Glove save by Thompson. 13 seconds to go on the power play for the Hurricanes. Welcome you in, everybody. If you're just watching us, it's 3-2. Hurricanes with the lead, and they have a power play for another 13 seconds. Trying to make it a 4-2 lead. The Caps trying to tie it up, potentially force an overtime to try to win this game in game number 4. Carolina leads the series 2-1. Trying to go up 3-1 against the Capitals. Van Riemsdyk can't win the faceoff. Walker goes across, fakes the shot. Walker again, a shot deflected wide of the net. Power play coming to a close. Not cleared out yet. Taylor Hall held it in, block shot by Sandin. 3.5 minutes to go in this game. Rush for the Capitals. Dubois pokes it into the zone. Loose along the boards. Dubois pressured. Still loose along the boards. Stolen away for a moment. Taylor Hall. Odd man rush 3-on-1. Walker looking, waiting, shooting. He scores! Walker makes it 4-2. A huge goal by Sean Walker, and it's 4-2 Carolina. Just a defensive breakdown again by the Washington Capitals. Couldn't win the puck battle, and Sandin's stick was actually tied up along the boards. That's a bad break for the Washington Capitals. His stick was stuck along the boards. Wow. Glove side on Thompson, and Walker with a huge one there after the power play had expired, and some frustration. Chychrun and Thompson. That's his first career postseason goal for Sean Walker and the 4-2 lead for the Hurricanes. So the question now is, do they pull Thompson off this next rush? Roy passes across. The Capitals down by 2 again. Strome will shoot it back in. Fluttering puck goes into the corner. Less than 3 minutes to go. Walker clears it down the length of the ice out to center ice. And Chychrun will have to go back there as Stahl is pressuring him. Strome will move it up. See Thompson getting pulled here in the last minute, and he is. He's going to get pulled here. Off a skate, Wilson. Off a turnover, centering pass goes wide of the net. Chance along the boards. Loose in the corner. Here is Stahl trying to get it out of the zone. Martin gets it out to the blue line. Here's Jordan Stahl, and a chance here. Svechnikov on the rebound. He scores! The empty net dagger. (5-2). With 2:21 to go, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to go up 3-1 against the Washington Capitals, going to their home arena in Capital One Arena. 2:21 to go. That Sean Walker goal broke him. Chychrun on the initial block, and then Svechnikov on the rebound on the empty net goal has put this game away for sure. And all because of Sandin's stick getting stuck along the boards that led to the rush for the Hurricanes to score that 4-2 goal for Sean Walker. A beautiful shot on the glove side. And it's 5-2 Carolina. The highest scoring game of this series. And it comes at a crucial time for the Hurricanes. Washington was trying to tie it, and all the momentum that they had has been broken, and they're 2 minutes away from being down 3-1 in the series. The best team in the Eastern Conference. That deflected out of play. Will that be a penalty? I think it will be, with 1 minute and 57 to go. And Spencer Carberry and the Caps were this close to tying it. And now they're going to have to face an elimination game in Game 5 at Capital One Arena. A crucial game for the Carolina Hurricanes to win. They're going to improve to 5-0 at home with 1 minute and 57 to go in the third period. 2-1, the Hurricanes leading the series, about to be 3-1. And what a win. It's not over yet, obviously, but the Capitals stunned. They're down 3-1 against the Hurricanes. A power play for the Hurricanes here, as that was a delay game penalty. Mangiapane, and they're out of it now. Power play for the remainder of the game. Burns with the puck. Moves it through center. He moves in on Sandin. Pressured from behind. Stankoven gets the puck now. It's the second power play unit on there. Stankoven looking. Dropped it off. For Burns, a shot. It was blocked out in front of the net. And it's cleared down the length of the ice. 125 away from facing elimination for the Washington Capitals. The Hurricanes 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final for the second time in 3 years. Here's Taylor Hall. Dropped off. Burns shot deflected out of play off Carlson's stick and into the netting with 1:06 remaining in the third period. It looks scary at the end, but a huge goal by Sean Walker has put this one away for sure. And the Cats bench is stunned. Game 4 tomorrow, Jets Stars. Coming up next is Oilers and Knights on TNT. Game 5 of this series will be on Thursday. Potentially, the Hurricanes can win it and move on to the Eastern Conference Final. Gostisbehere looking, shooting, loose in front of the net as Blake couldn't get on the rebound. Cleared out of the zone. Wilson trying to race for the puck. He'll get it now, short-handed. In the corner, Tom Wilson tried to center it. Could not go. Less than a minute left to go in the third period. Martinook moves it in, dropped it off for Robinson. Looking, waiting, to the point. Gostisbehere held it in. Blake now across. Shot! Glove saved by Thompson. A dandy there, but a little too late. The Washington Capitals are going to be down 3-1 in the series. A huge loss for them as Anderson continues his brilliance. He only let up 2 goals in this one. In the third period, Alexander Ovechkin and Chychrun with the goals in the third period. And then Taylor Hall, Sean Walker, and Svechnikov with the goals in here in the third period for the Hurricanes. 5-goal third period, a lot of action. We're 27 seconds away from the end of it. Gostisbehere just holding up the play. 20 seconds to go. The crowd rallying here in Raleigh. 15 seconds away from a win. And 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final. Circles back as Gostisbehere. 5 seconds away from a Game 4 victory. They're going to go up 3-1 in the series. The Carolina Hurricanes have a huge victory here. The Capitals, oh so close to tying the game. But no, 8-0 all-time record when taking a 3-1 series lead for the Carolina Hurricanes. They're up 3-1 in this series, trying to go a perfect 9-0 when leading 3-1. At Game 5 in Washington, a potential chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Final. Game 4 concluded here, a 5-2 victory. Taylor Hall with the game-winning goal. And the Capitals will have to find a way to try to crawl back in this series, but it looks pretty steep for them, as this is going to be difficult for them if they want to come back in this series for sure, as this might be the end for the Capitals. A 5-2 victory. Oh, so close to a comeback for the Washington Capitals to tie it up at 3. A huge goal by Sean Walker. Bad luck for the Caps. The Hurricanes have a dominating, a good 3-1 series lead. Trying to close it out in Game 5 on Thursday night at Capital One Arena in our nation's capital. from Max. Thank you so much for watching a 5-2 final from Raleigh, North Carolina at Lenova Center. The Hurricanes up 3-1. We'll see you next time.